Simple Café E, illustrated tutorials for your electronics. You've probably seen these two words before, and today you're about to learn once and for all what they mean. That way you can make a better decision when looking for your next speaker. Sometimes just by looking at them, you may not be able to tell what type of speaker they are, even if you take their lids off. That's why it's best to flip them around and have a quick look at its ports. This is what a passive speaker looks like, and these are the ports you'll typically find in an active speaker. Having a look inside, you'd see something like this in an active speaker, while a passive speaker will be relatively empty, which often results in them being lighter than its counterpart. That's because they don't have a lot of other components like an amplifier, which we've seen that an active speaker does. Which is why you'll have to bring in an external amplifier to connect it to, like so. Now that we've seen what's on the inside, let me slightly change the look of this active speaker to something more common, like so. Now let's move down to the next big difference, which is power. All amplification needs power. And well, since this active speaker has an amplifier, it'll need to be connected to a power source. Now remember, a passive speaker doesn't have an amplifier, so it doesn't need to be connected to power. Not directly, at least. First you gotta connect it to an external amplifier, and that's what needs to be connected to a power source. It's this dependency on another device that makes active speakers so popular. Not just because you don't have to plug your phone into it directly, more so because you can take them anywhere. They can hold a decent amount of power for a decent amount of time. But what if you don't even have to worry about charging up for the go and just stay connected 100% of the time? Well, now you can go all out and add more speakers to amplify, or better yet, a subwoofer, which, trust me, makes all the difference. And you can bring in speakers from other stereos. Speaking of which, a sound system like this has an amplifier, which means everything I've said about amplifiers applies to these too. So with all this potential, you may want to think twice if you were just going to go get a single active Bluetooth speaker. Now, it used to be that practically all active speakers were Bluetooth speakers, but there is another popular way to connect to active speakers, which is through Wi-Fi. Not only does it have higher fidelity than Bluetooth, but it's also easier to add more to your sound system. Check out this video right here to learn more about them. Well, I hope you liked it, and will subscribe for more simple tech explanations. See you around.